G'day, legends. Hopefully, we're live. My first time at it. Sammy from Short and Stout Beer Reviews. And I have a nice little delight here. A beer that I've wanted ever since I got into craft beer. PLINY the Elder from Russian River. Let's do it. Hopefully, I can get it open easily. If anyone's there, hope you're having a rad day. Good weekend. Yeah, this is one of those hyped classic beers I've wanted to try for a very long time. In the glass, on camera, it looks a bit darker than what it is, but it's probably like a light straw colour. I'd say medium body, one finger head. A little bit cloudy. Let's go for a sniff. Huge citrus. Getting like orange and grapefruit. A little bit grassy. I'm not getting that huge pine and resin like I'd sort of hoped for. Maybe a hint of apricot. It's got that like that marmalade-y feel. Definitely smells like a citrus bomb. A little bit zingy. Cheers, KC, dude. Good to see you. I'm going for a taste. On the taste, it's so much better than the aroma. Huge pine. You couldn't get it in the smell at all. It's weird. It's a little bit spritzy. It's definitely got like an apricot and peach sort of feel, like stone fruit. They're like quite pithy as well. Grapefruit, orange, maybe a little bit of lemon zest. It's definitely not as clean and clear as I thought it'd be, but I have heard people say that like your old school piney and that's like sort of slightly hazy. It's definitely a lot dank, well, a lot more dank on the flavour than the aroma. Quite bitter too, boys and girls. So what's happening there, KC? You're still there. How's your day been, dude? Anyone else that's hanging about? This is my posh glassware. I just started stuffing around with YouTube earlier on. I thought, fuck it, I'm going live. So I did a little test video before, and then I was like, I'm gonna do an actual beer review. Cool. Yeah, it's been one of those beers, KC. I've been trying to get it for about 10 years, dude. I just happened to find an Aussie guy that like does a fair bit of traveling, and he's been able to get a few beers that I haven't normally been able to get. Yeah, the bitterness just like lingers. I like it. Not sure of the percentage. 8. It's actually higher than I thought. Yeah, I was just on a few streams earlier, or actually, I was on one stream earlier in the day, but it went for a very long time. Good old Harry from Blue Nose Beer Reviews over in the UK. He's a good boy. Cheers, Lady KC. I was talking about the hat on an earlier stream, just how I love New Orleans, and yeah, I love like their attire and their colours and stuff, but I'm still not loyal to one team in the NBA. I just find it really hard to follow one team when the players keep moving all the time. Because yeah, I've always liked the Bulls, always liked the Hornets, always liked the Spurs. Like I've just ever since I was a kid, like I've loved NBA, but I've just never had like that one team. It's a little bit earthy, this bad boy, but yeah, it's like it's got that real clean sort of like clean flavour and mouthfeel. And yeah, it's just like the appearance is it's a little bit cloudy, but it doesn't look like your true West Coast, but it tastes like it. Yeah. Drew Brees, bro. He was a legend. Yeah, this is going to be my jam. Just doing live reviews of beers and interacting with peeps in the chat. It's going to be cool. Cheers. Are you drinking, you too? I'd really love to get hold of the other Plinys, but obviously it was hard enough for me to just to get the OG one, let alone the other variant. That's rad. He seems like he'd be a good dude, Drew Brees. Like he'd be one of those fellas, like everyone would get around because he's like popular boy and like very like athletic and skilled and like elite and that. But I just feel like he'd always be humble and grounded. Even though it's 8%, I could slug it like all day. Like a lot of people say they'll have this beer and think like it's the hype isn't there, but they've got to remember it's like an old school beer. Like it's like a pioneer of this style like years ago. So for me, it's like, yeah, it's as good as what people say it is. Cheers, Adam. I'm on the old piney, brother. First time. To me, it's lived up to the hype. Like it's just got real old school vibes, like that citrus and stone fruit. It's like really piney and dank and bitter. On the aroma, it was just citrus, but as soon as I had that first taste, it was like just stepping into a forest. Yeah, it's got that real clean body and mouthfeel. Yeah, it's 8%, but you feel like you could drink it pretty easily. I wish I had a few Russian River beers. It'd be good just to compare them. Blind Pig and whatever else they have. The bottle's not going to last very long. Yeah, it is. On aroma, no, but on taste, yes. Quite piney. Have you had any Russian River beers, dude? I was so stoked when I got it because I just thought it was going to be one of those beers I was never going to try it until I went to America. And then I just came across this Aussie guy that was into beers on Instagram and said how he does a heap of traveling and stuff. I was like, yes. He got me some Fidens and North Park, Monkish, and then like this was the main one I wanted. I mean, I really want Treehouse, but I haven't found that person that's been able to get them for me just yet. Yeah, yeah, the president one's meant to be unreal. I love how it's all like, yeah, it looks like it's got that look on the can artwork, like it's a presidential sort of like campaign sort of thing, like blue, white, and red. Looks like like a banner or some shit. Did you pull up all right after the beers last night? You seemed like you didn't really have too many. You always seem to be like me. You fall asleep before you get drunk. Yeah. Well, I've had one Fidens, dude. I've got one more in the fridge. The one I had is meant to be like not as good as the one I've still got. And yeah, that the beer I had like a week ago was phenomenal. It's one of the best IPAs I've ever had. Yeah, shit. Has everything you've had from Fidens, have they all been like New England style? You don't want to get one of their lagers like Jimmy. Cock cock heavy lager from Wales. Yeah, it's good to see some people in the chat. Like, it's such a silly time too. Like, obviously for me, being in Oz, it's a good time. But yeah, most of the peeps I know and follow and whatever are like Americans and English. So it's like sort of a shit time. Yeah. Yeah, I think I got from Fidens, I got a couple of IPAs, like New England style. From North Park, I got a Westie and a Hazy, and both them were banging. Monkish, I got a Hazy. I've already had stuff from Monkish before. Like, I really enjoy Monkish. Out of all the stuff I've had all across America, like Monkish are one of my favourites. I like the fact that they do hazies, but they've got like a slight West Coast sort of tweak to them. Like, they're a little bit dank and a little bit bitter. And yeah, also like a little bit dry as well. They're not that sort of real sweet juice like a lot of the East Coast stuff. Sometimes the juice it's a bit too much. Yeah, I've heard the Treehouse Stouts are really good. I've had a couple of Trillium ones and they were banging. One thing with this is like, yeah, the more like as it sort of sits and warms a little, it's just getting like more bitter and bitter. Like, it's like that really, really dank pine. Like, yeah, it's like that. You're sort of getting like that really intense piney spruce tip sort of thing going on. But you're getting like that, I don't know, sort of like that wet forest floor, like wet grass, like damp. Yeah, it's like sort of it's hard to explain, but just reminds me of like I've got a nearby forest and it's like when you drive through there and it's like raining, that's what it reminds me of. Yeah. Yeah, equilibrium. In the early days, dude, I had some of their IPAs and they were still some of the best I've ever had. But yeah, ever since we had that first shipment, we've had about probably 3 or 4 now in Australia, and every other time they've all been spoiled. Yeah. Nah, this is this is like really like oof, like really piney and earthy, like yeah. I feel like because I love this style, like the more piney and sort of dank I love, like it's like the more the better for me. But I feel like this would be way too intense for like just your average Joe. Like people that aren't really into craft beer, I feel like if they go, oh, I've heard Pliny the Elder's awesome, and they go to Russian River and drink this, and they'd be like, like this is like it tastes like dirt. But yeah, it's like you get to that stage in your craft journey, and it's yeah, this is the sort of shit that like turns me on. It's great, and just that like it sounds silly, but just simple artwork. I love it. Like, yeah, you'd go into a store and you'd see all this rad, like, can artwork, all this different colours, and you'd see some shit that's real generic, but that, to me, would stand out in, like, a bunch of, like, 100 different beers. Have you had Pliny the Younger, Adam? Because, yeah, I remember a few people saying that was really good. Good thing about people being in the chat is I know that at least the stream's working. So, yeah, forgive my rookie qualities. I'm only new to all this shit. Yeah, I just got to a stage, I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to go live and do a review. I don't know how I'd go scoring this. I do like the fact you get that real lingering, like, bitterness. It's awesome. Not many Westies these days have that quality. They sort of drop off. But yeah, it's like, one thing about it is it's definitely one of those beers. Like, I've had so many Westies. I've had so many sort of those in-betweener types that they don't know if they're Westie or New England. But yeah, this to me is like it's in a, I don't know, like a field of its own. Like, nothing else sort of tastes like it, which is cool. And yeah, like, one thing that's awesome about it too, like, obviously in Australia you can never get this sort of shit, but this one's like mid-October, so it's like 2 months old. Pretty cool. Normally when you get this sort of stuff, it'd be like pretty old, but and I've been sitting on it too for I probably could have drank it at about 5 weeks. I've been sitting on it for a couple of weeks. So. But yeah, I went into it. I mean, I've always wanted Pliny. I've heard so many, like, good things. I've heard sort of mixed things, like, but I never really went into full detail with what it actually was. And it's sort of good. Like, I expected it to be more of that sort of like thicker orangey caramel toffee sort of body. It's not so much, and like, I always knew it was going to be like piney and citrus and stuff, but yeah, it's like it's actually more intense on the flavour than I thought it'd be. Like, when I first, like, had a little whiff of it, it was just like that sort of like orange and grapefruit and lemon, maybe like a bit of apricot. That's sort of all I was getting. But yeah, it's like the more you drink it and let it sit, it's just like pine in your face. Yeah, it just just makes me want to try more of their products now. I need a California hookup. Yeah, I haven't had anything from Dogfish Head. Like I always hear like Josh and Drew talking about them, and like Craig's had some stuff recently. We've never had them in it like in Australia. I don't think even in like the early days, like because they're one of those breweries that have been around for a while. Yeah, like in the old school days in Australia, like when craft sort of first started, I remember like Stone, Founders, Sierra Nevada, whatever the one is with the skinny cans. I always forget their name. They did like resin and all that stuff. Um, what else do we have? Knee Deep was another one. They did a heap of like the bigger bottles that were really like dank, like West Coast, like in your face beers, like double and triple IPAs. Yeah, we're not like you always hear of like Three Floyds and that, but we never got them here. I can't think of the name. Oh, is it 6 Point? I think it might be 6 Point. The ones that have those, they used to have those skinny, like small, skinny cans, like a Red Bull sort of thing. Anyway, we used to get a fair bit of that. But yeah, like back in the day, like, I don't know if it was the same for you guys in the UK, but back in the day, like craft beer in Australia, all the US stuff was like fucking old as. Cheers, John. Good to see you, dude. Yeah, like we'd get all this stuff here, and like it'd be pretty cool. Like you'd get really excited, and then you drink it, and it tastes like shit, and you're like, American craft beer is not all it's meant to be. But yeah, it's like half the time it'd be like an 8 month old like can or bottle. Cheers, Jake. Good to see you, dude. For those that have just joined, I'm on the old Pliny, one of my bucket list beers. It's living up to the hype, thank God. It's like really piney and dank and bitter. Like, yeah, citrus and stone fruit. It's pretty good. I was surprised by how sort of like light the body is and like cloudy, like for a Westie. I sort of expected it to be like that real big caramel punch in your face. I do the usual and say where you're from and what you're drinking. Most people are probably just out of bed. That damn time difference. Yeah, dude. I was so lucky to actually get my hands on this one. Like, I just come across a guy that does a heap of traveling, and he got me like some stuff that I was chasing, like Fidens, Monkish, North Park, and yeah, Pliny. So yeah, I'm going to keep in contact with him because he's probably going to be able to get me some other shit that I'm chasing. Ooh, bacon. Yeah, I cooked myself some like bacon and egg muffins yesterday. Like before, I jumped on the stream with Craig and Adam and Harry and Rob. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Had the old bacon and egg muffins with some hot sauce. Woo. I'll take it, Adam. You've got one of those decent coffee machines, barista style. Does anyone else have hot sauce on their breakfast? Or is it just me? I'm a fiend for the chili. Although I've got this one chili, it's like a Carolina Reaper. It's like too intense with the Carolina. Like it's a cherry sauce. The cherry side of it's rad, but the Reaper's is too intense. And as much as I love it, every time I have it, the next day is fucking hell. Yeah, eggs. Hot sauce on eggs. There's just something about it. Even if it's like, yeah, like just chili powder or chili flakes on eggs. Yeah, I love that. It's cool. But yeah, I've just lately, for me, like burgers and like hot dogs, I've been like really going hard with the hot sauce. And sometimes it's, I think I just overdo it. That's the thing, yeah. Like when it comes to hot sauce, though, like, I feel like I can do most of them comfortably, but anything Carolina Reaper, it's just like way too much. Like, yeah, you can see why it's number one or number two or whatever it is these days for a reason. Like I've got this like a New Orleans sauce, it's really good. Sort of like a barbecue sauce that's really hot. And then I've got like a peri peri, like more of your South American sort of chicken sort of style. That's awesome as well. But yeah, just this cherry one. As much as I love the cherry in it, it's just like every time I have it, it's like what why am I putting myself through this pain? Yeah, we've got this guy, he's in like a trendy area of Melbourne. He's got his own little store. It's called Matt's Hot Shop. And you can go in there and like just do tasters of all the hot sauces and that. And he's like real good character, like promotes himself hard on like Instagram and stuff. And yeah, it's cool like to have like a little store like that in like an industrial area, like just some random guys selling hot sauces. And he's always like showing sort of foods like popular foods in that area. He'll go and buy their stuff and then put his own sauce on it and like pop up a video on Instagram, and he always gets a heap of hype behind him. Anyway, I should probably end this video considering that my glass is empty. So yeah, just like final thoughts on the beer. I felt the citrus qualities on the nose and the taste were really good. It's like orange, that like pithy grapefruit and lemon. You got a little bit of that sort of apricot and peach. Like it had those marmalade vibes. A little bit jammy. Um, yeah, like very piney on the flavour, but not. You didn't get any pine on the aroma. Yeah, it's quite grassy. Definitely lived up to the hype. It was like, yeah, just as good as I sort of hoped it'd be. So probably if I was to score it, I'd probably say like a maybe a 4.5 out of 5, which is pretty good. So yeah, Thanks to everyone watching, and see you on the next one.